Okay, so this is the lesson for Monday, November 14th. And the aim is, how does the moon's appearance change as seen from Earth? Alrighty, so you're going to have a worksheet tomorrow that you're going to use to practice these concepts. Let me see here. So the first thing I might as well just go ahead and show you. I've been doing some renovations in this room. I ripped down the walls, redid the electric, and put up all new drywall. And so I had a couple of extra sheets laying around, and that's what I used to put our model of the Sun, Earth, Moon system. Okay, so that part of the solar system that we're concerned with for this lesson. Okay, so what I've shown you here is the Sun, and there's the Earth, and here's the Moon revolving around. Okay, the first thing I should tell you is it takes 27 1/3 days for the Moon to make one complete revolution. That fact is actually in your reference tables. I think it's bottom of page 15. It says like solar system data. So you can look there for that fact if you want. You can see, look for period of revolution. Period means the length of time for a revolution. And then check it for the moon and you'll see that it's 27 1/3 days. So now the aim again was, how does the moon's appearance change as seen from Earth? So right now you have to think about what view we're looking at. Earth and Moon. Okay, we're looking from above. It's like you guys are in a space shuttle right now, looking down on the solar system, and so like this would be the North Pole right here, and the Earth is rotating. Here's my Sharpie. It's right here. So the Earth is rotating. I'm actually not going to draw it. The Earth is rotating counterclockwise. And actually the moon is also rotating counterclockwise, but it's also revolving around. Interesting fact, the moon, we said it takes 27.3 days to make one complete revolution. It also takes 27.3 days for the moon to rotate once. And that leads to an interesting fact, and that is that the same side of the moon will always face the Earth. Because think about it. Okay, let's say this finger right here is that side of the moon. Okay, it's pointing toward Earth, right? It's going around and like this, and as it goes around, it's also rotating. See, I have it rotating slowly as I'm going around. I'm also moving around slowly. But because it takes the same amount of time to make one rotation as it does one revolution, the same side of the moon always faces Earth. That might be a random regions question, so just so you know. Okay, now the main thing, again, that I wanted to show you with this whole lesson is, how is the moon going to look to us standing on the ground when we see it in the sky at night? You can see the moon in the day too sometimes, but I'm really emphasizing, well, it doesn't matter. Day or night, we want to see how it looks. You know how the moon looks sometimes like a little tiny sliver of a moon? Other times it looks almost full, or maybe it will be completely full. So there's a bunch of different options. Those different ways that the moon looks, those different appearances, we call those phases of the moon. Okay, so those are different phases. So each position of the moon around the Earth will lead to a different phase of the moon. So it'll have a different appearance from the ground. Okay? Yeah, so the first thing I should do is also emphasize that the sun is over here, right? And it's shining its light that way, right? So that means that on the right side of all these moon positions, and also the Earth, that will all be shaded. Because, you know, if the light's coming from this side, then the opposite side is going to be a shadow. So, let me see. Use this guy right here. Actually, that's kind of big. I don't think I need to use that. Let's go like this. Okay, so all of this is going to be shaded on every one of these. That and that. I guess I could have done this beforehand, but I really wanted to emphasize the fact that you know, the right side here is always going to be shaded. Now, some models of the Earth, Moon, Sun system, they'll show the sun coming from the opposite side. That's fine. It doesn't matter which side they're showing you. If the sun was on that side, then it would just be the left side on all of these that would be shaded. That's all. Okay. So because one side is shaded, right, now that's going to lead to that different appearance of the moon, that different phase of the moon when viewed from ground on Earth. Okay, so how are we going to figure out how they're going to look? You know, there's some obvious ones we can do. If you're standing here, for example, and the moon is in this position here, position 5, you could probably tell. Okay, if you looked up at the moon, you could probably tell what phase of the moon that would be in this case, with this one. Okay, so if you looked, you would see the whole lit half of the moon is facing you, and so therefore it would look like a full moon. Okay, so but when we start doing some of the other positions, it gets a little bit more tricky, a little more difficult, especially for some reason the ones on the bottom, because it forces you to have to kind of reorient yourself, reposition your perspective, your mind, to kind of see it in a different way. But I have a trick to help you figure out what the phase is going to look like. By the way, you're going to get this handout tomorrow. This is going to be your class worksheet. And again, notice the sun is on the opposite side, like I was telling you before. Sometimes it could be on the opposite side. So here we got the sun on the right, and notice all the sides on the left are shaded. Okay, it doesn't matter. But to draw each of these phases, because in each one of these you're gonna draw what the moon will look like as viewed from the Earth. Okay, when you're looking up in the sky at the moon. So again, position 5 is going to be a full moon. So really, for that one, you don't have to shade in anything because it's going to look all white, all full. You might also be able to see this obvious one, position 1. Looking that way, if you're standing here on Earth, okay, and you're looking at the moon, the shaded half is facing you, so that means it's going to be what's called a new moon. Okay, none of the moon is going to be lit up from where you're looking. Okay, but that trick I was telling you about, let me get back to that. So the trick is this. What you need to do is first determine which position the question is about. Let's say I'm asking you, what does the moon look like as viewed from Earth when it's in position 6? Okay, so what you would do is take a straight edge. I mean, you know, you don't have to. You could just do it freehand, but it's probably not a bad idea to just take the edge of your paper or something and first put a dot in the middle of that Earth and in the middle of the moon there, and just connect those two dots with a straight line like that. Okay, and then what we want to do next is we want to turn this into a T, so we're going to draw a line there, and this line should be at a 90-degree angle to this. I have a square here, a builder's square, just to show you exactly what I mean. Of course, you don't have to use a square, you're just going to do a T, but I'm just trying to emphasize the fact that it's a 90-degree angle. So there's half of the T. And the other half of the T is like this. Okay, so there. Now again, I could have done this freehand, and that would have been it would have been fine. That's tomorrow. You don't have to use a straight edge. You could just do it freehand. So now what I'm going to do, looking at this T, this opposite half of the side of the T, you can cover that up with a piece of paper. Okay, and the reason for that is you can't see that half. All right, you're standing right here. You're looking up at the moon in the sky. You're not going to see that opposite side. All you're going to see is what's left from here all the way around to here. Okay? So now, what you're going to do, now that you've gotten that half of the moon covered up, you're going to figure out how much, what percentage of the moon is going to appear lit up to you, and on which side is it going to be lit up. Okay? So in other words, in this case, it's about 3/4 of the way lit up on the left-hand side of the moon. Okay, so when you view that from Earth, let me move this over, show you. I'll just take this off for a sec. Let me just draw a freehand circle here. It's kind of lumpy, but that's okay. Alright, so what I just drew for you was this is going to be the moon as it appears on Earth. Okay, so on your handout tomorrow, that would be these little sections down here. Okay, so right now we're doing position 6, so that's this guy right here. Okay, so how's it gonna look? Now remember what we said. Let me just go back to here for a sec. We said, I'll cover up this half. We said that it's the left side, 3/4 of the left side that's lit up. Okay, and then a little quarter on the right there is gonna be darkened. So let me just remember that again. About 3/4 of the way is going to be lit up, and all quarter of the side on the right is going to be darkened. Now the way that'll actually look is like this. Okay, so all this on the left here is lit up, and this little sliver on the right is darkened. This is how the moon will look when you're standing from Earth, when it's in this position over here. That's my daughter in the background crying because she's not feeling too good right now. Okay, so there's position 6, and that's how it will look. Okay, let me do one more for you. How about we'll do position 4. Okay, we'll do this one right here. So this one I'm just going to do freehand. First I draw the little dot in the middle. Draw the dot. Well, I already drew the dot in there. And now I'm going to connect those two. Okay, so like this. I'm just doing it freehand. And then I'm going to take and draw a T at a right angle. Okay, I'm trying to hold the camera in one hand here and do this so it's not beautiful, but that's okay. And now I'm going to cover up the side of the moon that's facing away from Earth. Okay, this side here. And what's left? What's left is, let me put this back. Is that showing? Okay. Yes, okay. What's left is, when you're standing here, right, looking up at this moon, you're going to see 3/4 of it lit up on the right side, in this case, and a little bit on the left is going to be darkened. Okay, a little bit on the left darkened, most of it on the right lit up. A little bit on the left darkened, mostly on the right is lit up. A little bit on the left. Let's get rid of this one. I'm done with that. Okay. Alright. So let me go ahead and draw another freehand circle the best I can. Another lumpy circle. And let's see. So what did I say again? I said most of it on the right side is lit up and a little bit on the left is darkened. Okay, so a little bit on the left is darkened. A little bit on the left darkened. A little bit on the left darkened. So that's the way it's going to look right there. Okay, most of it's lit up on the right, a little bit's darkened on the left. And that's the way the moon will look from Earth when it's in position 4, according to this model here. Alright? And that's how you do it. I'm not going to do the rest. You guys are going to work together tomorrow on doing the rest of those. And I'm posting this tonight. It's probably going to get up on YouTube around 6:30. Sorry about that. I wanted to have it done by 6. But tomorrow night I'll then have Tuesday's lesson posted. So be sure to view that and review it. Okay? And tomorrow basically what I'm talking about is the eclipses. What an eclipse is and how they occur. Okay? Alright, bye.